Hello everybody, this is Grin Spickett, Junior Moderator at Remote Viewing on Reddit. I'm here with a new project. This is Let's Play Remote Viewing Tournament. I think if you've read my article, a deep dive in Remote Viewing Tournament, you'll know that I am passionate about Remote Viewing Tournament, and I really enjoy it. I've also done quite well with it. I want to show you some functionality of the app to start and talk a little bit about why I'm motivated to try this project. First of all, this is Remote Viewing Tournament. Let's mention what is remote viewing. Well, you can come inside the app and you can go and look at the Learn section. And it talks a lot about remote viewing and what it is, why it might work, how it might work, how the app works, how you can prepare for it mentally. It gives you some beginning techniques to try. Remote viewing is a discipline of mental information gathering whereby a person attempts to pull in impressions about something that they don't know consciously what that thing is, and it may be remote to them, both in distance and in time. And in fact, with Remote Viewing Tournament, we're attempting to predict which of two images is going to be associated with a winning outcome or a correct outcome. This is a type of remote viewing called associative remote viewing. And so I'm going to share a couple of resources really quickly. First of all, IRVA.org, that's the International Remote Viewing Association, has some history of remote viewing and a good explanation for what remote viewing is and where it comes from. And then, back over to the Applied Precognition Project. You could Google that, or it's appliedprecog.com. The website looks a little bit like MySpace in the early 2000s or something, but it has a lot of information and resources about specifically associative remote viewing. The outcome of which picture is correct can be associated with movements in the stock market, for example. People will attempt to inform financial decisions by predicting which photograph aligns with a winning outcome or a losing outcome. Next, in the Remote Viewing Tournament app, there are daily rounds. You have a score for the current month that starts at 0 every month, and there's an all-time score that is sort of a running average of your performance over time. You can look at a list of the ranks for the current month. Don't get too excited if you're in number 1 after 1 or 2 days, please, and post that you're like the greatest psychic ever. And then you have all-time. Huzzah for Sarah Motley. She's doing great. She must have a correct percentage of almost 60% over hundreds of rounds. We have the ability to look at your own history. So I'm scrolling through my own history. I've just recently passed my 1-year anniversary. I have 239 rounds completed with 54.7%. Overall, I've won a total of $30. Yes, there are monthly prizes, both for being in the top 10 for the monthly round or being in the top 10 of all time. The Z-score and the probability are statistical analyses that help us to know whether anything's happened by chance or is likely to have happened by chance, so it kind of keeps us straight. And there's account. In the account settings, you can set your username. You can set what judging type. We'll talk about that in a separate video. Whether or not you want to receive a prize. And if you want to synchronize with other people, you can enter a group name and play in the normal mode, and you will synchronize with them and get the same image pairs for the day. So let's talk a little bit about why I'm doing this. First of all, I've unsubscribed now. I just want you to unsubscribe now if you were used to my other videos. I've released 3 so far. They were introductory videos for remote viewing, but they were a little bit more rehearsed and planned, and so I don't want you to get bombarded with my daily videos if you're not interested. So go ahead and unsubscribe now, everybody. And I'm gonna go see here. My things got out of order. So first of all, I want to break my fear of being publicly wrong. Fear of being publicly wrong is, I think, a major barrier to people who are getting into remote viewing. We don't want to be too precious with ourselves about being right or wrong, and in fact, if you have an ego about this, you just want to blow that sucker up. It's no good in this process. It's a focus on playing. It's a focus on trying. It's a focus on performing the steps, and then let the outcome be what the outcome is. At this point, we want to play and enjoy the process, stimulate creativity. I had a pretty good record on remote viewing tournament this year. I was first place in January. I was first place in April, and I was fourth place in June. In June, I missed a single day, and the competition was tight. Had I won that day and played that day, maybe I would have taken first place again. I tend to take breaks in between my competition runs, and I've been on a long break. So I don't think that this happened by chance, because I was actively trying to win. I was doing everything I could. I was judging a lot. You'll see judging later. I was practicing remote viewing. I was talking remote viewing with people. Became a moderator of a remote viewing subreddit. I began to talk to the pros and make connections and write articles about remote viewing, all to keep my interest and my excitement up. So could one person have taken first place in 2 months of the year out of maybe, out of all the times I've tried to play, and in fourth place in another month, all by chance alone? And could that person have been me just by chance alone? Yeah, there's a chance, but I don't know of anybody else who's managed to do that. If they are there, they've stayed quiet, and although there are people who perform very well in the competition, so there are some people who are outliers, and I think that those people also tend to be people who are really working hard, and they're really trying to learn this and really trying to do this. So if remote viewing doesn't work, we shouldn't be able to get better at it. And those of us who are trying really hard to get better at it shouldn't be able to make progress above other people. So that's sort of the why. I'm trying to now, I had a track record, I've gotten involved in the community, and I want to break out of my ego and not let it stand in the way. I don't want to be too precious about my score. I had gotten really close to being in the all-time top 10, and I started to feel a nervousness inside of me of breaking that streak, because honestly, I have very poor credentials in the remote viewing world. I am untutored, untrained, undisciplined. I don't practice every day. I have other responsibilities that take priority, and sometimes all I can do is maybe a few minutes with a remote viewing tournament, but I enjoy it. I think there's a place for spectators in this field. I think there's a place for commentators. I think there's a place for reporters and other people, all the things that you would expect in a community besides just the professionals and the beginners. So I feel like maybe I've started to find a place for myself that's beyond my track record, and I'm ready to let go of my track record and experiment with you, even if it all gets shattered as we play along. So goodbye 54.7%, you might be toast. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. We're going to experiment a bit with the format as we go on, and please, if you have any comments or concerns or questions, let me know whether this is worth continuing. I look forward to seeing you here. Take care.